Even though I've said a million times in my videos that I don't like to solely rely on infographics, I'm going to be relying on them for one additional week, which is this week, only because pretty much about the month since I got back from my concert, things in my personal life have been non-stop. There's been quite a bit going on, so I haven't been incredibly in touch with what is going on in the world. I'm doing the best I can, but regardless, I am still going to be putting infographics in, and additionally in the description there's going to be a couple links. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm going to be choosing off the top of my head, but you'll see in the description any links that are going to be towards helping people in Kerrville, Texas, because the day that I'm filming this, I don't remember if it's a hurricane off the top of my head or like extreme flash flooding, but people in Kerrville, Texas definitely need any help that we can possibly provide them, whether it's funds or whether it's things that we can donate and send to them. But other infographics will be throughout this video of anything else that is like super pressing, super important that we need to keep our eyes on. I just don't have the information on me right this second, and I do apologize for that. I also apologize for the noise of the fan, but I do apologize for that because I've said a million times that I don't like to rely on solely the infographics, because sometimes they're hard to read and sometimes it's like hard to process, and sometimes hearing people say things is a little more impactful than reading things happening. So again, I'm so sorry. This should be the last week that I'm going to like solely rely on those, and next week I should be getting back to like telling you guys about stuff on top of, you know, putting links in descriptions. But for right now, check out the links in the description to help the people of Kerrville, Texas. And also, just a little side note, I feel like I got really quiet out of nowhere. Just a little side note, people in red states are not your enemies. Are there bad people living in red states? Yes. Are there bad people living in blue states? Yes. Most of the population in red states are victims. Let's not fucking forget that, okay? Yeah, the fan's on because the air conditioner's off, so I can film a video without the excessive noise. But because of that, you're lucky I put on any kind of shirt today and just didn't film this in my pajamas because it's fucking hot. You're also lucky the bangs are out and not like taped back. Anyway, this is the last week of Stray Kids content. This is the last week that I will be milking the shit out of the fact that I went to a Stray Kids concert. Also, if you comment on my nails, you're homophobic. They're weekend breaking and I have really painful like ripped nails right now. Okay, so let's just not worry about it. Mind your business. But yeah, this is the last week that I'm going to be milking Stray Kids content, and I want to do like just like an overview of like not only my shows but like my whole trip. So for anybody who doesn't know, I went to New York day 1 and day 2 with my best friend, and those were a Wednesday and Thursday night shows, but we stayed in New York from Tuesday to Friday. So I just want to talk about like the experience, because like I love my best friend and also I want to relive it, and also I'm milking the Stray Kids content. And you would do it too for a check. I'm not making money off of YouTube. One day maybe, but I'm not making any money off of YouTube. Don't worry about it. If I was making money on YouTube, my last 2 videos would not get me any fucking money, even though they're super long and they're getting a decent amount of views, because they're both copyrighted, right? They're both copyright. So anyway, let's start with the Tuesday that we traveled. It was fine. It was a fine day. There's not like too much to talk about for the Tuesday because it's not a concert day, but our bus to like take us from where we were to New York was delayed because we saw the bus come. We were like at the bus stop at the time that it said, you know, be ready for pickup, and we saw him take a wrong turn, and the city that we were getting picked up in, it's not a city that's like, I mean, no cities are like this, but I feel like some are easier than others. There's no like quick way to get around, so he had to take like extra time to go kind of all the way up and around, and he got us. And there were 8 of us that in the city of New York, we needed to get a connecting bus. There were 8 of us on this bus total. New York was the last stop, but like there was one set of us, one set of 8, which is funny, that needed to get an early connecting bus. Everybody else's connecting buses were like later in the day. So 8 of us missed our connecting bus because this man was late, which is totally fine. It's not that big of a deal. It was our travel day. It was not our concert day, so we were not stressed about it. But pretty much we crossed a state line, and then we hit like a pretty major highway. And I don't know if you guys ever see them on the highway. I don't see them as often. I saw them more so on this trip than I've ever seen them before. But there are signs that say like buses and trucks stay out of left lane, because it's like the fast lane. And sometimes when the highway curves, it's like kind of a dangerous curve to be going 80 on the highway. You know what I mean? This man stayed in the left lane the entire way to New York. We were safe, we were fine, and the bus had seatbelts, but stayed left lane the entire way to New York. And we were about midway through the state, like right before we crossed to the New York border. And he got on his little intercom thing and he was letting us know. He's like, 8 of you have already missed your bus. I'm going to make sure nobody else misses their bus. Hang tight. Hilarious. So we finally got to New York, and we were in the like specifically like the Times Square main center part of New York. I don't like cities and I don't understand cities. I am a small town white woman born and raised. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of that mentality is there. I love a small town. I love convenience, but I love a small town. So I don't know anything about cities realistically. Like I don't understand really like neighborhoods or boroughs or everything. So whatever the Times Square center is, we were at the New York bus terminal. One of them. I'm sure there's more than one. But anyway, so we were there, and we got out of the bus, we went to the bathroom. We went up like a set of stairs, and there was a Dunkin' right there, and we were like, okay, we just need to figure out like what we're gonna do. Like, are we gonna get like a car? Like, are we gonna try to find another bus? Like, what are we gonna do? And we got up the stairs, and I was like, do you want to stop and get a coffee first? And Megan was like, please. Poor Megan. And the thing is, Megan, I've said this a million times before. Again, everybody in the comments say, thank you, Megan. Megan paid for like everything to get us there. Her fiance paid for our day 1 ticket. Megan paid for day 2. She paid for the hotel. Like, she paid for the buses. She paid for everything. I'm on a payment plan with her, and I refuse to let her ignore me about the payment plan. So this is, if you're watching this right now, Megan, send me the bill, bitch. I already know I owe you for the stuff you bought me last week, but send me the fucking bill. Okay. Anyway, now that my best friend is sufficiently threatened, that's all I do to my friends is I threaten them. It's out of a place of love, but all I do is threaten my friends to like drink water, be nice to themselves, that kind of thing. So we did that. We got our coffee. We ended up getting an Uber, and our driver was a very nice man. He was a very nice man. There was a language barrier, and there was also like the not understanding super well of like accents. That's not a slight against him at all. If anything, that's a slight against both of us for not knowing languages. I don't know how many languages Megan can speak. I feel like she can speak at least 2, like English and something else. I took French for 4 years, and I can't speak French. You know what I mean? So it's nothing against this man, but it was very funny because you could tell he was trying very hard to be like, oh, these bitches don't speak Spanish and can clearly not understand my accent. I'm gonna try to try hard in like customer service right now. He was such a nice man. He was so fun. And we went to Flushing. Yes, it was expensive to take a car there, but we were in Flushing. We were in that neighborhood. So we were in that neighborhood, and it was absolutely darling. First of all, the hotel we stayed in, fucking gorgeous. I sent you guys a video. I showed you guys a video of it in the beginning of my part 1 of Stray Kids. Gorgeous hotel, gorgeous area. Like, the hotel was so nice. The people that worked there were so lovely. We had a great time. It was nice. I got to snuggle with my best friend, stealing her away from her fiance. And where we stayed was like, again, because I don't know anything about cities, where we stayed, that neighborhood, I would go again. If I could afford the hotel, and I paid for it this time, so Megan doesn't have to pay it all, I would go again. It was a gorgeous little neighborhood. We were so spoiled for choice for like places to get food, places to get boba, places to shop, like things to do. There were like multiple bakeries. There was a Dunkin' down the road when we needed to be white woman and go get a Dunkin' instead of supporting one of the local businesses. It was such a nice little area. I would do a girls trip with anybody. Like, again, if I could afford it, I would do a girls trip with anybody just to stay in that neighborhood and just like go eat and walk around. It was so fucking nice. I loved it. So the first night we went and we got, it was, I'm not going to say the name right. It was abalone, that like shell fish thing. And I think it was chicken. And it was like a one of like the hot soup plates. And we got black truffle fries. And we got, what was the other thing we got? It was like fried pork wontons or something. Oh my God, they were so fucking good. Megan got a mushroom soup. And it was absolutely delicious. And mind you, while we're at dinner, where we were, like where our hotel was and where we were eating, it was like a block. And apparently the Gucci store that Hyunjin had been at earlier that day was like here with maybe like a block in between. So we were like pretty close. So low key, without being creepy and weird, low key, because it was like a little shop with a big window next to us. We were kind of like looking out the window in between talking to each other, just seeing if like maybe like we'd see somebody pass by. We weren't gonna like stalk anybody, and we didn't, but like you never know, if they were that close in the neighborhood, maybe they were walking around getting boba, you know, you never know. Anyway. So also because of the big window, we saw so many people walking by with like really cute boba cups, and I was like, that looks super cute, we have to find out where that's from. So after we ate, of course, which we also sat for a while because I was dumb and I was paying for dinner that night, and I was dumb and I didn't understand like how to pay. I didn't know if they brought you the check or what. So we sat for like a while when all I had to do was go up to the counter and be like, hi, like, sorry, I'm just paying for my meal. That's all I had to do. I'm just dumb. So anyway, we left, we went and got boba. We went to a different boba place that was like very, very cute and darling and had cute cups, but it was not the same boba place that we had seen everybody else getting their boba from. Like the cups were different, and of course where we got boba, it was like right here across the street. So we ended up not going again, even though I kind of wanted to, but we had other things to do. And then we went to a mall that was like apparently attached to our hotel, which we didn't know. It was like the same building. It was just the door where we entered our hotel, the door to the mall was right here. So it was very cool. We found that out later, but it was very cool. And in that mall, okay, so that mall was like all blind box shops and restaurants. And then an arcade with blind boxes. And a goldfish swim school with a pool on the second floor. So that was fucking cool to see. And one of the little stalls that was like in the food court area, because it wasn't even like a food court, it was just full restaurants that were in this mall. They had a little fucking I'm gonna say it wrong, tangulu, the cool fruit that's like has the sugar on it. That looks weird, but they had that, and I didn't like, okay, so I knew it was fruit that was like covered in sugar. Like I could Google it. It's not, you know what I mean? It wasn't like crazy knowledge. I didn't realize how fucking fresh of fruit they make it with. I had a grape one. I had like the small stick that only had like 3, and they were fat green grapes. Those were the most delicious grapes I've ever had in my life. I literally have not stopped thinking about them. And then we went back to our hotel room and I opened a blind box. I kind of talked about all that in my Stray Kids Concert Day 1 video. Obviously, go check that out if you want to. That one's super long. Both of them are long. Both of them are like about an hour. So I would suggest like having a snack and having a drink with it, but like, I don't know, I had fun filming them and I had fun editing them. So go watch those. I will promote them. Even though if I do ever make money from YouTube, I cannot monetize those. So that was pretty much day 1. And I still wanted to talk about it because between the Uber driver and the bus driver, I thought that was just like the funniest, silliest little thing that could have ever happened. And it was also just like a really nice day with my best friend. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It was a lovely day with my best friend. So the second day, we woke up early, and this was like concert day. This was New York day 1. We woke up early. It was like 9:30, and bless Megan. We all love Megan. I'm not clowning her because she can clown me for a million things I did on that vacation, but we woke up at 9:30 because she wanted coffee, and we didn't leave the hotel room till about 11 because of Megan. She just takes a while to get ready. I don't know what to tell you. And we ended up going on like another little walk, and we walked through the neighborhood. We went all the way down kind of like to the end of the street that we were on, and we got that bakery, the Tout le Jour. See, French for 4 years, went to Paris and still can't speak French, because that is a bakery that's in like my local mall, and it's so fucking tasty, and I got a bunch of stuff. Do I still have the picture? If I have a picture, I'll put up like what I ate, and it was just tasty as hell, man. I bought a bunch of stuff because I figured it would be for like a couple days worth, and we found a Dunkin' because, again, sometimes you just need, you know, your comforts. We went to a Dunkin', we went back to the hotel. We kind of just like sat and hang out. What did we watch? It was like Cake Wars or something, where they were like building Superman out of cake. I don't know. Megan wanted background noise. She put it on while I scrolled on Instagram, you know? She had done my nails. She had shaped them nice and done like that pretty pink polish. But as you can see, they're not in good shape. I also had to scrub the rest of the polish because it flaked off after about a week, but then there was still like a big bit of it on there. We did that. We got ready. You saw all that. Took cute pictures. We went to the show and everything because we did have seated floor. But still, you know what I mean? We still wanted to be there, like, good time. And we got there at 4. The hotel we stayed at to Citi Field was only about, like, a 20-minute walk. If anything, if I walked as fast as Megan did, it would maybe be 10, to be quite honest with you. But I don't walk very fast. And I wore my platforms the first day. And granted, they're platform sneakers. But I didn't really prepare as much as I should have, so I'd like not even halfway through the walk, it already started digging into the back of my heel. I still have the scab on the back of my heel. So then I was walking even more slow. I walk slow anyway. I'm fat and I don't like physical activity. So I walked slow to begin with, and the Spanx I had, of course, were like riding up, so it was super uncomfortable. Regardless, we got there, and right in front of us, like people were passing out freebies because we were in like the long line to get to floor. And people were passing out freebies all the way up and down the line. I think this is a freebie I got day 1. My Sigmund bracelet, I showed it in the freebie haul. But right in front of us, like in the line waiting, was this family. It was mom and dad and this little kid. And she had like very similar color. Oh, my hair's super faded. But like this color, she had very similar color, and hers was like very faded too. But it was a little kid, and I wasn't able to see her sign completely, because she was like bouncing around and like waving it around, so I didn't have a chance to like fully read it. But it was like a sign for like, you know, stray kids, for Felix specifically, because Felix is her bias. And it was something about being in remission for whatever medical situation she had going on. So like, fucking love this kid. Love her. Obsessed with her. I think you can see the family like directly in front of me in part of the vlog. Very sweet family. Love that kid. She was the star of the goddamn show in line. She was making friends with everybody. She was chatting with everybody. She was telling everybody everything and being so excited about freebies and Felix being her bias. She was like the light of my life. I love her. It was funny because at one point, if you were at Citi Field, you might like have known what happened. But at one point, you know, we get like really close to the gates, and there was a driveway for people to come in and out and park. So we got separated from them because we needed to be on the other side of the driveway so that cars could come in and out. And they didn't open the gates till 5:30 on day 1, so we were stuck there until 5:30. And then when they let us back across, you know, we kind of like, you know, scurried down the line. We were going past everybody that was like lined up for pit or whatever. Scurry past everybody, and we get like towards the front, and they were right there again. And we were like, oh my god, hey guys, we got separated, but we're back. And it was really cute and fun. I didn't get stopped for a bag check. I feel like my bag was more full of shit and more full of like suspicious shit, because not only did I have my inhaler and the spacer I use for the inhaler, I also had my prescription medication, which I have been stopped at venues for before. And like, I understand why, but at the same time, like, it's kind of annoying when it happens, like, questioned. And, like, they needed to see my ID, and they wanted to, like, one place I went to where I had to bring my prescription medication because it's for my vertigo, like, wanted to open the bottle and look at the pills, and I was like, no, I don't want your hands on my pills that I have to orally ingest. Like, what the fuck? So I was really shocked because I did not get stopped for, like, a bag search where we both had clear bags, but Megan did. I couldn't explain it to you. And so we finally got let in, and it was like, I I don't know if it's on video or not, but I like took out my phone and I don't remember if I was filming or not at the time, but I'd taken out my phone and I was like, should I film this? Like when I filmed Walking into Disney back in 2019? Because walking into Citi Field to see Stray Kids was very like a, this is happening moment. So yeah. And you guys have seen the footage for Citi Field day one. We were off to the side, so I was kind of heavily relying on the screens just because where the boys were on stage with people's heads in the way, I couldn't like really see them, but I almost cried 3 times day one. District 9, which I feel like that's such a stupid song to cry to. I didn't cry. And the little bit of crying I did do was not like full blown sobbing, like hyperventilating, which I thought I was going to do genuinely. I didn't have like full boohoos. I almost started crying during District 9. Like my ears got teary because like that's their debut song. I'm gonna cry now. The post-concert depression afterwards too was like the most horrific thing I've felt in a long time. Almost cried during District 9. Cinema, I got more like upset. Like there were like tears building. My eyes didn't just get watery. There were tears building and I was going, because cinema is important. Cinema's very important. And then when they have the fucking names on the screen, I love humans. Okay, I don't know how to explain it other than like I love when humans human, and something about them showing us the screen of all of us and them being there and everybody being there for them and seeing all the names, that really got me. And then the song I like actually started crying during, but it wasn't like I said hypothetical. What word am I looking for? Hysterical. It wasn't like hysterical meltdown sobbing. I just like I started having like a like that kind of cry. I don't think you can hear. Did I take a video of that part? I don't remember. Was Blind Spot, because that is my favorite song off of that album. One of my favorite Stray Kids songs of all time, and because of personal like decisions, I guess, I don't know how to phrase this. It means a lot to me because I've assigned a lot of importance of like on it in my life. How am I phrasing that? Blind Spot's very important to me because I made it very important to me, essentially. So I did have a cry during Blind Spot, and I don't think I filmed either day of Blind Spot. So if anybody like on Instagram or Twitter want to send me footage of Blind Spot from Citi Field day 1 or day 2, I would very much appreciate it. I didn't film either of those because those were like, that was something I wanted to like experience, because again, it's my favorite song off that album and it's a song that means a lot to me. And day 1 was just like crazy because I was seeing Stray Kids, and I don't think I need to take like 10-15 minutes of this video to tell you how important Stray Kids is to me, and like how important it is to me that my best friend is also into Stray Kids, and that together we went to go see them. I feel like I'm gonna start crying, so I'm not gonna dwell on it too long, but Stray Kids is very, very important to me. So to be able to finally see them and see them live was like nuts. What else was about day 1? Oh, day 1, Chan's parents and Hyunjin parents were at the show. You know how Hyunjin always talks about how pretty his mom is? Yeah, he's right. She's fucking gorgeous. She was darling, and when they put her on the big screen, she kind of like hid behind the light stick, but when she moved it, oh my god. An angel. I was gonna make a joke and say, hey Hyunjin, is your mom single? I know she's not, but like, is she single? Yeah, and seeing Chan's parents there was like very cute because I don't follow either one of them on Instagram. That feels like a little odd to me. I'm not judging you if you do. I'm just saying for me personally, it seems a little odd. I don't follow either of Chan's parents on social media, but I will get their posts like on suggested a lot of the time for like, oh, like people you follow this person, do you want to follow them? And I see their posts a lot of the time, and I've also seen that Chan's parents specifically, I believe some of the other boys' parents as well, but Chan's parents specifically seem to have been going to every single North American stop. I don't know if they also did South America, and I think they might have done Canada, I'm not sure, but they went to every North American stop, and I thought that was very darling that they put him on the big screen and shouted out to them. It was just very cute. The boys were very cute and silly. And I did leave day one wrecked. I had a feeling going into the shows that Jungin was going to destroy me seeing him live and in person. I had a feeling. Him and Chanbin both grabbed me by the throat and said, "You're coming with us, bitch." I didn't mean to move the camera, but that is what happened. So remember when I collected 5 members of Stray Kids and then downsized? Sorry, I had to move the camera again because it was irritating me. My stupid bullshit K-pop shelves over there are about to get a lot worse because I now will be collecting Chanbin and IN. It's a problem. So day one, I feel like I don't have like too many memories of like specific instances because day one was just so good. Day one was so good and I was very mesmerized. I got a lot of compliments on my outfit on day one. The picture I posted on Instagram of me in my outfit, I got a lot of compliments on my outfit, which was very sweet of everybody. Megan wore like a Dominate themed outfit and I wore a Star Lost themed outfit. I already had pretty much all of the items of my outfit. I think I maybe bought one thing and it might have been like a pair of socks to go with this outfit. I don't remember. One security guy, I was like walking by to get food because I needed to take a little bit of my medication because I started to feel a little dizzy, and I was walking to like the concession stand and like a security guy leaned over and went, "You look beautiful, ma'am." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you." And then the lady that I was buying food from told me that I looked like Cinderella, and that was very sweet. People were just very sweet and lovely. I really appreciate all of the comments. If you saw me and complimented me, thank you so much. You're an angel. I adore you. Where was I going with that? Oh, and because on the North American tour, there were some issues with venues and security, I will say that Citi Field did a pretty good job. I said in my vlog that Megan and I understand why people like Juanaid went to multiple tour stops. One, just because it's Stray Kids. Like if we could afford it, we would probably have gone to multiple tour stops. But how people went to multiple tour stops and specifically didn't go to Citi Field, we understand. We understand. Thankfully, for me personally and for Megan, it had nothing to do with the venue staff or security or anything. The venue staff in our section specifically, I cannot speak for the rest of the sections of Citi Field, but our venue staff specifically in, what was it? It was floor 4. They did a great job. And everybody over there was really lovely and very helpful. There was a woman that got sick at one point before the concert had even started. She very clearly had not been hydrating, but also consuming a lot of alcohol. She was not doing well. And they took care of her and made sure that she was doing okay. So, like, I can't speak for anybody else. I can just speak for that section and that day. Citi Field didn't do a bad job. It has nothing to do with, like, the staff there. I understand why people don't come to New York and come to Citi Field. I get it. I don't think it was the worst concert venue I've ever been to, but I think for a concert like this, I agree that I'd rather go to a different one. Maybe not the DC venue, whatever, what was it? It was like National Park or something. Maybe not that venue. Those people can go fuck themselves. But I would go to a different venue if I could. Day 2 is the day that I like have a bit more memories of because like I said, day 1 I was very mesmerized. But day 2 I have a little bit more memory because day 2 we woke up early still, but we were just not really feeling it. We were exhausted, mind you. We were so tired. And I would like to say this ahead of time because you might get to a certain part of the story and be like, "Hey, what the fuck?" So the week before we went to Stray Kids, the 2 days of the concert, no other day of the week, the 2 days that we were supposed to be going to the shows were forecasted for rain and thunderstorms. Fluctuating percentages, but they were forecasted. And day 1, we got super lucky. Ended up being a beautiful day, maybe a little bit cloudy, but it ended up being a beautiful day. And while we were at the concert, like jumping around screaming, we had a really nice breeze that was coming through. So that was lovely. I loved that. So day 2, I got cocky. Megan suggested we bring ponchos. I got cocky. But we kind of hung out like all day. Did we leave the hotel day one? We did. Oh, we went to go get merch. That's what we did. We went to go get merch decent time. I think we went by like 10 or 11. And it was just hot. It was hot earlier that day. It was hot and it was very sticky. So the walk to merch was just like it was kind of a lot. It was just very hot. Like for me, I brought water and everything, but it was just kind of hard. I still went to merch though, because like Megan wanted merch and this was Megan's trip too. So obviously I was going to go get merch with her. So we went to merch, met a couple really nice stays there. They were very sweet. A lot of people were like camped out, like ready to go. You guys all looked gorgeous. But we went to merch. We went back. We kept like cutting in because there was another mall that we had to pass by. It had more like kind of, because like I said, the one attached to our hotel was like blind boxes. The other mall had like actual, like it was like Bath and Body and like things like that. So we cut in through there to get some air conditioning and also to buy like a fucking jug of water that Megan could chug all day. That was very funny. But then we went back to the hotel and we kind of sat around for a bit because it was so hot, dude. It was so, you know what it was? It was hot, but it was so muggy. It was like 200% humidity. It was hot. So we did that. And you saw the beginning of day 2 vlog. I'm just like, day 2 is rough. We're not doing great. And I was going to like do something cuter with my hair and makeup. It was just too hot to bother with it. So whatever, we go. We get to the venue and the way, if you weren't at Citi Field, and I don't know if this is true for other venues, but if you weren't at Citi Field, floor was like pretty organized. They had a completely separate line. It was kind of like on the other side of the venue. They were very, very organized. All of the like upper seating of this fucking baseball stadium, there was really no organization with the lines or anything like that. It was just like, oh, sorry, I had to fix my tits. It was just really kind of rough. And we had seen stuff the night before on Instagram of people complaining about like Citi Field is like not doing a good job. And Megan and I were both like, what are you talking about? We got in and out. It was no problem. Actually, getting out of the venue and getting away home was a problem day 1. But that was kind of an us thing, and that was me insisting that we get a ride, but at the same time we could have just walked, but we were like on the other side of the venue, the way they kind of like herded us out. So it was anyway, regardless. So day 2, we started to understand what people meant by like how unorganized it was, because they had like the corrals to like, you know, get people into like the ticketing thing so you could get into the actual venue. But they were like only up at the front of like where you could get in, and everybody else was just like forming random lines. And for a while I was like, this isn't going to work, but we ended up getting in. So we were kind of just like in a makeshift line, and it like wasn't really a line. It just started being like clumps of people standing vaguely behind each other. People kept cutting. It was kind of a nightmare to begin with. But we made like a random little group of friends. We made friends with these 2 twins because we actually approached them and said, hi, like, sorry, is this a line? And they were like, we think so. You want to stand with us? And we were like, absolutely yes. So if you guys see this, shout out to Kati and Tati. Love you guys. You guys were so darling and like the light of my life for that day. So we made friends with Kati and Tati. Just the way lines were and the way people were like walking up and being like, is this a line? Can I stand here? I apologize to these 2 girls if you did see this video, if you're seeing this video and you're like, hey, what the fuck? I didn't learn your names. I think we introduced each other and I forgot. So I'm so sorry. But there was a very short girl, like shorter than me, and a very tall girl. So it was the twins, me and Megan, and then our 2 besties. They were both like separate. They weren't with like each other or anything, but it was like the group, and then these 2. And the 6 of us just like formed a bond. So it was to the point where people were like cutting in line, pretending like they were trying to pass through because there were no clear walkways. Like once these lines were formed, they were just walls of people. So people were kind of like, people were trying to get like through the lines, but they were also cutting in front of people. So we just started forming like a wall, being like, one of us was like, stop people pleasing, just stay together. And our very short friend that we made friends with, at one point she was like, you know, because she was smaller than the rest of us. Some of us had platforms on, some of us just had like sneakers with heels on. At one point we kind of just like formed a circle around her, and we were like, sorry guys, we can't break the circle, like we have to. So she was a very good sport about it, because I think in the beginning she was kind of irritated how all of us were like kind of being like loud and obnoxious, and she was like, oh, I can't believe I ended up next to these people. But by the end of all this, we were best friends. Mid standing in line, we got there around 3:34, right? And the gates are supposed to open at 5:30. I don't know when it started, but we heard thunder and we saw lightning in the distance, and it was very funny, because it was one of those like humans gonna human thing where like people heard like a crack of lightning and literally the entire crowd went whoa. But we saw it, and we saw the really dark, really concerning clouds coming. And Thunderous was playing on the speakers, and Katsi and Satsi took out their ponchos. And I was like, if you don't give it power, then it can't hurt us. So I didn't bring ponchos because we got so lucky day one. Like, long story short, I didn't bring ponchos day two. That was a mistake, because not only was it sharp, angry, angled rain coming down on us, everybody, as hard as possible. People are screaming every time there's like a clap of thunder. People are going, ah! The lightning was really spooky. Not only was that happening, but every like couple minutes, it felt like not only was the rain very aggressive and pelting us from the side, but it felt like there was like a wave hitting us as well. And when it started coming, we just all turned to one side. Megan had a flag. It's like a black and white American flag style flag with Bangchan on it. She had that like around her shoulder, so she had it up over her head. It didn't protect her, but it like kind of helped. I had my phone in the Spanx pocket, like the pocket of the Spanx I was wearing. And we had turned and we're like huddled together. The twins are kind of huddled together like next to us. They have ponchos on, so like at least most of their clothes got saved. The bottom of their pants and their shoes were just gone, but most of their clothes got saved. And I just started laughing at one point, like hysterically. And Megan said maniacally, because I knew that if I stopped laughing, I'd probably start crying because of how fucking ridiculous all of this was. Like, it was so much. And I could not stop laughing. I couldn't stop. There was nothing I could do. Like, I could barely breathe with how hard I was laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. It was so utterly ridiculous. At one point I was trying to like take my phone out of my pocket and put it in my bag, and I'm going, don't get wet, don't get wet, don't get wet, while I'm like hysterically laughing. And I finally, at one point, I kind of calmed down and I turned to look at Megan. I'm like trying to shield myself, because I think the sunscreen I put on too, my face was so wet that I think the sunscreen was like melting into my eyes a little bit, because at one point my eyes were stinging. Like they hurt so bad. And I look at Megan, and she's like kind of under the flag, like I said, and she turned and looked at me, and her bag, because of her light stick, her bag didn't fully close, and she just looked at me and she goes, it can't close. And I just kept laughing because I didn't know what to do. And then I ended up with that stupid sunburn that you guys saw that was like around my neck, because it was the shape of my collar. I had like a collared shirt on, because after that, we were just standing there and the sun came out. Of course, the sun, the heat, and the humidity all came back like so aggressively. And it was so, looking back on it, it was so fucking funny. Like, our shoes were filled with like an inch of water. Like, my shoes were like old and I ended up having to throw them away. The shoes I wore were like old and crusty and just not in good shape, and they were like had holes in them and the water was not draining. It was bad. So that was rough. And I think it like rained through the 5:30 mark, so Citi Field didn't let us in. That was nice. City Field did not let us in till like close to 7, I would say. They made us wait an extra hour outside, which I get it. Like, realistically, I get it. And like Megan pointed it out as well. If we're outside of the venue but something happens to us, they don't have to take responsibility. But when we're inside of the venue, if something happens, they have to take responsibility. There's a chance they could get sued. I get it. At that point, fucking let us in. Just let us in. So we finally got in. Oh, before we got in, they finally like opened the corrals and everything. We start going in, and of course people are like bad. You would think it was pit the way people were like pushing in and everything. So I had to stay attached to Megan. Like, obviously, like when you're at a concert, you try to like hold on to your best friend in any way that you can. I was trying to hold on to her because she had my ticket on her phone. She has my ticket. I can't get in without her. We did get like a little bit separated, but we got back together, especially when it came to the corrals. But at one point we're in the corral together and I'm like, oh, thank God I found you. She's like, yeah, just stay with me. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe we lost the twins. And you know how the corrals go like up and down, up and down? I was like, oh man, I can't believe we lost the twins. She goes, no, they're right there. And they're like up here in this part of the corral. And I was like, oh my God, there you are. Like, and they're like, hi guys, we made it. We're going to make it in. And I was like, have a good concert. Love you. Bye. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. We lost our other friends. And the sweet short girl that was with us went, nope, I'm right here. She was right fucking next to me. I didn't even know. I love you, and I'm not trying to like shit on your height or anything like that. Please know this is coming from a place of like, I love you and we bonded so much from this trauma. I just thought it was really funny that you were right. It was very cartoon. You were right next to me and I didn't even notice. She was like, I'm right here. And I was like, oh my God, girl, like hang on to my bag if you want to. Like, we're going to get through this. I'm not going to let people trample you. She was like, okay, thanks. And kind of like, I think she like ended up holding on to like one of my belt loops or something on my skirt. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, that's so funny. We're all together. Damn, I miss our other friend, the very tall girl. And she goes, I'm back here. And I turn around and she's in a different part of the corral behind me. And I was like, I'd love to see it. The little bag security check, I think I got stopped. Did I? They either ushered me through. No, it was the metal detector. I got through the metal detector, no problem, which is weird because I have never gotten through an airport metal detector unscathed. They have to do like the weird little pat down thing. Hate it, but they always have to do that to me. It's never my bag. One time it was my bag, but it's never my bag. It's always like me. And I literally have a necklace and I don't wear earrings. I don't usually wear other jewelry. And I don't have like any metal plates or anything on my body. Maybe it's all the metals and shit. Like maybe my inhaler has like metals and shit and they can detect it in my lungs. I don't know. But I'm never usually stopped. So I got through the metal detector fine. Megan didn't. And I think it was just something in her bag that like popped up because it's clear bags. But at this point they were kind of like rushing us in. So I will say, City Field, get your shit together about that. But Megan got stopped and I had to wait for her because she has my ticket. And then we got together, whatever. We got in and we like ran to our seats because my feet were hurting. I was in physical pain from standing. We got to our seats, whatever. We ran to our seats. And the thing is, being fat, the baseball stadium seats, I don't fit in them. Unless I want to be in pain, I don't fit in them. So I was kind of sitting on like the walkway. And thank you, everybody that kind of walked around me and was very understanding because I just needed to sit for a few minutes. We sat for maybe 15 minutes because obviously with people getting in late, the show was postponed to be later because people need to get in and find their seats. But we maybe sat for like 10, 15, 20 minutes and then they had us all get up because of inclement weather. So we got up. And we stood in the little concourse thing, the area of the baseball stadiums that has like coverage from weather and has the food and the bathrooms and all this stuff like that. I have the burp. Sorry, hold on. So when we stood in the concourse for another hour, almost 2, due to inclement weather because a thunderstorm passed over City Field again. So by the time I did start laughing again at one point, and Megan looked at me and she's like, you could tell in her face, she's like, I want to fucking kill you. But I couldn't help it because genuinely at that point, if I wasn't laughing, I probably would have started crying just because I was soaking wet. My feet were so uncomfortable because they were so wet and I was like tired and hot and I was in a lot of pain. Like my feet and my knees were in a lot of pain from standing. I'm almost 30. and I worked in retail for 10 years. That absolutely destroyed my body. I know I'm not in the best physical shape that maybe I could be, but retail destroyed my body, specifically my joints. Okay? So at that point, I was just very tired and in pain, and I felt like I was having the mental battle too of feeling like such a piece of shit, because I was like, I can't believe I'm in a bad mood at a Stray Kids concert, but I was in a bad mood at a Stray Kids concert. So we finally went, we sat down. Of course, we're waiting to sit down because I think the show ended up not going till like 9:30, 10. I don't remember. The show got pushed back pretty late. We're sitting there, and it wasn't a rainstorm because they didn't kick us out of our seats again, but it like was like a little bit of rain came by and just hit us one more time. Oh my god. Oh my god. And we were just, Megan and I were just looking at each other and we're like, okay. Because you could, like, neither one of us wanted to be like, this sucks. But at the same time, we were like, shit, this sucks. Like, I fucking hate this. It was not great. It wasn't good. We were not having the best time. So the show finally started. And of course, the show was absolutely incredible. They did an amazing job. Where we were for day 2, we were pit day 1, like over here. And the like stage was like over here, right? We were in the stands day 2, so we were up back here. And you know, I will complain a little bit because it was my show, so I can complain about it. The big tent with like all the sound equipment and everything was kind of like right in our way. So they would come down the main stage, and the main stage would be like here. So part of it was blocked off, and we couldn't see the other little walkway into the pit that they would go on, but we could see this one. So it was, both days were fantastic. The boys did an incredible job both days. They were all very silly, goofy. Day 2 of Citi Field was the day that Han slipped in the middle of the District 9 little jump thing, and everybody laughed at him. Day 2 was when Han was sliding around the stage trying to dab. Day 2 was when Chan was very excited about airplanes, and he was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if an airplane went by right now? Like, that was day 2 for me. So day 2 was fucking incredible. They did a very good job. They were such troopers for the fact that the show went on so late. I feel like we were all troopers. The boys did a good job. Pit for day 2. Some bitches in pit for day 2. You were stampeding. The venue should have handled that a little bit better as well. That's what I will say about Citi Field, but I wasn't in pit, so I don't know. I can't, like, say a lot. I just know that some bitches in pit day 2 were trying to trample literal children just so you could get barricade. Go fuck yourself. But yeah, that was day 2, and the show was great. I filmed both days. I put in most, if not all, of my clips for both days. I did cut out, there was a 5-minute clip of them being cute and talking, but a lot of that clip was people screaming over them, so you couldn't really hear what they were saying. Day 2 very much confirmed that Chanbin and Jungin wrecked my entire life. So in the future, now and in the future, probably whenever I do a sorting photo card video, you will see Bark Racha and you will see Boom Racha, and that is my lot in life. So that was fantastic. We went home. We went to the hotel when we were done, obviously, and this time it was easier. We got let out right where we were let in, so we knew where we were. We walked back to the hotel. It was about 2 a.m. when we got back, and Megan and I just completely stripped naked, basically, in the hotel room because we were still soaking wet. No matter how much the sun may have dried us, we were still soaking wet. We got our shoes off. We got our feet dry. And we had to go through our bags because I thought my bag was okay. Megan showed me her bag at one point, and it was like, you know, she had shit swimming because the bottom of her bag was like filled with water from that rainstorm. I thought my bag was okay. One pocket looked like it was flooded. Of course, it was the pocket with my batteries, so I wasn't able to use my light stick. Day 2, which was fun. I think Megan had extra batteries that were like double sealed in plastic bags, but at that point I was like, it's rainy, it's wet, I have a cute light stick cover on. I don't want to use my light stick. So it's a shame because my version 2 light stick and my Puppy M crochet cover did not get to see the light of day, or at least the light of the concert, but that's okay. There'll be other chances. But one of my pockets was like full, and I was like, oh shit, okay, but my other pockets look okay. Both of us had to unpack everything. That's that clip you see in day 2 of things all over the bed. We had to unpack everything and try to let it dry because everything in both of our bags did in fact get soaked. Megan has since had to get a new phone. Um, so that's nice. Her phone like fully got destroyed. I think my charger, my portable charger thing, I think it's fine. And my phone seems to be fine. There is some sus shit happening to my phone, but I can't tell if that's because I've dropped it a million times or if it's because of the maybe residual wetness that got in my phone. I thought my phone was okay. It seemed okay. It seems okay, but crossing our fingers. And my puppy M, his little toes and his feetsies got a little bit wet. But for the most part, my stuff was okay. Like my light stick didn't get damaged or anything, so that's good. But that was what we did the night of day 2. It was about 3 a.m. and we had to be up early to get to the bus station. Oh, also night 1 when we got home, I ordered us like quesadillas from a place for dinner, and they delivered the quesadillas, and I paid like a lot for these quesadillas because it's New York, and I left like a big tip because the guy delivering them was on a fucking bike, which I thought was like hilarious but also like super scary because I cannot imagine trying to bob and weave between cars on a bike. And the restaurant forgot Megan's order. I did get refunded for that, but actually no, I didn't get refunded. You know what they did? Instead of taking out $60, they took out only the price that it would have been minus Megan's order. So I didn't even get refunded. I just got slightly less taken out of my bank account. Woo. But yeah, day 2, I think we like had a snack and then we just went to bed because we needed to be up early. Got to the bus station, not a lot of problems. Got our breakfast at the Dunkin'. Got something I didn't order, but like sure, it was tasty and I wasn't charged extra for it, so I'm not going to argue. And then got on our bus and went home. That bus was also delayed because one of the states that we had to drive through pretty much was traffic the entire bottom of it, basically. Like the bottom of the state was just traffic the entire way down. So that was fun. We didn't get home till close to like 7 p.m., which was nice though because I got home and we were having a cookout. I don't remember. I think Megan was like, yeah, I'm stressed because I got home and it was like a little stressful here. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Do you want to come? Do you want to drive down to me? Because we are having a cookout and my brother's girlfriend, who I absolutely adore, they're long distance right now, but she was also visiting for the weekend. So it was really nice that I got home and that was what the vibes were. But I like took a shower that night and I felt like a new person because traveling takes like a lot out of you. And it's just like, I needed to not be in a bus anymore. And the bus on the way home did not have Wi-Fi, so I got the notification not even halfway through to like the state we were being picked up in, that I'd already used 75% of my data for the month. Oh my god, it was bad. But anyway, this video is going to be just as long as the other videos. But yeah, that was the Stray Kids recap. I don't think I talked enough about the shows themselves, but I feel like you watched the shows themselves. And day 2, I don't know. Day 2 feels shorter because I feel like I didn't film as much. But day 1, I felt like I filmed a lot. So there were some songs and some moments that I just wanted to like experience. I was experiencing it regardless if I was filming it or not. But I wanted to just like be in the moment. And like I said, I was not in the best mood, which again, I felt like a huge asshole at the time, but I wasn't in the best mood for day 2 because my feet were soaking wet and I was wet and uncomfortable and sitting in the chairs at Citi Field because they are not built for fat people. My ass was hurting. My thighs were hurting so bad every time I sat down, but I needed to sit down because my feet were hurting so bad. So I didn't have any less fun day 2. I just wish I had been in a better mood day 2. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like I'm not talking a lot about like the kids, but the kids were fantastic. And I feel like by now everybody has seen the very fun and like silly, goofy videos from all of the tourist stops, not just New York, but New York was in fact the show that they were fascinated by airplanes like they'd never seen them before. And I love them so much. They're all such silly, goofy boys. And I love that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you were at Citi Field day 1 or day 2, let me know how we're feeling, how we're doing. Let me know anything about day 1, because like I said, I was on floor 4. Anything that went on in the stands that I didn't know about, and same thing. Day 2, let me know if you were one of the people in pit that got trampled by one of the bitches that were trying to get barricade, that have also been to every other Stray Kids show on the tour because they're creepy and weird. And let me know if you're one of the people, if you're one of the girls that we formed our little group with, if you are the very short girl or if you are the very tall girl, if you're Katsi or Tatsi, let me know in the comments. I miss all of you. We trauma bonded, and I love all 4 of you so much, and I genuinely have not stopped thinking about you guys. I haven't stopped thinking about the concerts, so by proxy, I have not stopped thinking about you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Next video is not a Stray Kids thing. It is a video of me kind of complaining, but it's not Stray Kids content for the most part, other than my other, like, K-pop bullshit videos that are going to be happening throughout the rest of the year. It is not specifically a Stray Kids thing, so you guys can finally catch a break. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!